Dinosaurs. These giant creatures have captured our imaginations for hundreds of years and have dominated many a science fiction story. But those stories usually revolve around dinosaurs surviving into the modern day. Today's thought experiment will be flipping the tables and see if a human could survive 66 million years in the past, in the age of the dinosaurs. But before we board our time ship of imagination, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Time Tours, the greatest tours of all time. Travel to the wild and unexplored reaches of the deep past with these beautiful travel posters. Available now on our store at creantworld.com, link in the description. Stepping out of our time machine, we might actually not notice an immediate difference. It's hot, humid, and sticky, but otherwise you'll see many familiar faces. Birds flutter overhead, insects buzz through the trees, frogs croak in ponds, and turtles and crocodilians bask in streams and pools. Surprisingly, despite how numerous dinosaurs were, you would not be overly likely to see them immediately. Most people assume it would be like a Charles Knight painting that depicts dinosaurs around every turn, but the evidence is that dinosaurs likely moved around a lot. Big animals need lots of food, and herbivorous dinosaurs could strip the land of vegetation before them. If they stayed in one place for too long, they would quickly run out of food, so dinosaurs likely lived on the move. Establishing a camp and a fire is probably not going to be all that difficult. There was plenty of hardwood around at that time with which you could build, and because of the higher oxygen content in the atmosphere, 34% compared to today's 21%, starting a fire would actually be pretty easy, though you'd have to keep your eyes on it to make sure it doesn't spread too rapidly. During the Cretaceous, the climate was hotter, more humid, and with higher oxygen content than today. It would be similar to the South Pacific, the rainforests of northern Australia, and the bayous of Florida and Louisiana. That means that you would be sweating pretty much constantly, and the bugs would be murder. Good news is that the bugs would probably provide a very rich source of protein, since insects actually have more protein per pound than beef. As a matter of fact, insects would be a great option for food. Finding food and not becoming food would be the main focus of most of your days and nights. The find food part would actually not be that difficult. Fish, crocodilians, turtles, and amphibians would be plentiful and tasty, though you'd need to watch out for the bigger crocs and 50-pound giant snapping turtles. Seafood would also be abundant, and by the end of the Cretaceous, there would be some simple fruits and pine nuts and seeds from non-flowering plants. You could climb trees for birds' nests, or if you were feeling more daring, you could raid a dinosaur nest for eggs when mama's back is turned. Of course, if you travel back to the dinosaur times, you probably want to try a Bronto burger like Fred Flintstone. Well, killing dinosaurs might prove tricky, though. Studies have shown that humans might not actually be able to throw a spear hard enough to pierce dinosaur skin, and most of the smaller dinosaurs are much faster than you. Fossil trackways show that ornithomimid dinosaurs could run between 40 and 50 miles an hour, so catching them would be rough. Should you manage to catch one, though, dinosaur would actually be good eating, and even the small ones would provide you with food for days. The problem is, you're not the only one with a rumbly in your tumbly, and if a T-Rex comes looking for dinner, you are in big trouble. If the T-Rex takes it into its mind to kill you and eat you, it will, with absurd rapidity. That said, if you choose to fight against it, your best chance is to use your leverage and try and trip the animal. T-Rex weighed about 8 tons, and if all that weight came down all at once, it could do some serious damage. Tripping a Rex may seem more difficult than it's probably worth, though, and your best bet is to run. Should you find yourself being chased by a Rex, you actually stand a decent chance of outrunning it. Studies on T-Rex bone density suggest that the Rex might actually only have been able to manage a brisk stroll of 14 to 18 miles per hour. That said, while you might be able to outrun the Rex, hiding from them might prove problematic since they had one of the best senses of smell of any terrestrial animal in the fossil record. Your best chance of surviving is to adopt some of the behaviors of your mammal ancestors and hide in either a tree or in a cave underground. Surviving in the time of the dinosaurs very much depends on taking advantage of what you find. And if you want to make it back to the world where you are no longer a snack, you'll need to keep your eyes and mind open, and always be creative. Thanks for watching.